Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford just walked into the casino. They sat down at the poker table. They're up big. They're up huge all season long, but they just sat there and they said, you know what? We're pushing all of our chips to the middle of the table. We are all in this year as the Vancouver Canucks, and we are acquiring Elias Lindholm. Yes, tonight there was a massive trade in the NHL. Vancouver has acquired Elias Lindholm, and going back the other way to the Calgary Flames, we have Andrei Kuzmenko, Hunter Brzustewicz, Joni Jurmo, a 2024 first-round pick, and a 2024 conditional fourth-round pick. And as this trade unfolded here tonight, there was some holdup. Like we got the trade in pieces. As I sit here right now, we just got all of the full details, and that's because Andrei Kuzmenko in Vancouver hasn't had the greatest season. He's been out of the place in the lineup, and he has a no-trade clause. So he has the right to say where he wants to go. And on his no-trade list is the Calgary Flames. So for this trade to go through and for Kuzmenko to become a Calgary Flame, he had to personally agree that he could be a Calgary Flame. And his agent, Dan Milstein, spoke about this on Twitter tonight. He said, Andrei Kuzmenko trade. We have been working with the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames since Sunday. Andrei Kuzmenko spoke with both the GM and head coach prior to agreeing to the trade. He's looking forward to joining the Calgary Flames. He is extremely appreciative for the support received from the team and fans over the last 1.5 years. Thank you for giving him the opportunity to play in the NHL and call Vancouver home. And as he always does, Dan Milstein at HockeyAgent1 hashtags We Are Gold Star. Andrei Kuzmenko is in the first year of a 2-year deal he signed almost to the day last year in January with the Canucks. He signed a $5.5 million 2-year deal with the Canucks, and GM Patrick Allvin was like, Kuzmenko's a part of the future. We need him around. Here's $5.5 million over the course of 2 years. But to start this year, Kuzmenko hasn't lived up to the deal, and Vancouver has been looking to move off of it ever since. Last year, he had nearly 40 goals. He had a 39-goal season, 35 assists, 74 points. He earned that contract. No one's saying he didn't earn that contract. Kuzmenko looked like a future star. That was his first full season ever in the NHL, and he put up nearly 40 goals. But this year, 8 goals so far in 43 games, 13 assists, 21 points. And Vancouver, as evidenced by this trade, are in win-now mode. They cannot stomach a 27-year-old on the roster making $5.5 million, scoring 8 goals when you expected him to score 40. And Patrick Allvin, to his credit, is saying, okay, instead, we don't have the patience here to wait this out. We need to move off of this deal as quickly as possible, get somebody in here who can hopefully fill the roles that we need filled, and make our way to the Stanley Cup final. And in Elias Lindholm, the Vancouver Canucks have received that. There are specific holes that the Vancouver Canucks have had this season, even though they've been one of the best teams in the NHL. 2C is what they need, and that is what they have gotten. I'm going to read this tweet from Thomas Drance, who kind of sums it up perfectly. Thomas Drance says this: call him coming shortly, but there's no one that came close to fitting more of Vancouver's various needs. A right-handed draw winner, check. A PP1 fit that doesn't need the puck, check. A second-line center that can also play wing, check. A sturdy penalty killer. That's Elias Lindholm. And I forgot to do the last check. So in Elias Lindholm, the various needs of the Vancouver Canucks are all filled with one player. And what I love so much for Canucks fans is nothing has been taken off the roster that they need. It's two prospects who have very high upside if you're the Calgary Flames. If you're a Flames fan, you should be very happy with all 3 players you received. Joni Jurmo, high upside. Hunter Brzustewicz, high upside. Kuzmenko, 27-year-old who put up 40 goals in his first NHL season. Very high upside if he can live up to that number. Plus, it's only one more year at the 5.5. There's always a time to move off of that. So Calgary, be very happy with what you've received, plus the first-round pick, plus the fourth-round pick. This is one of the rare trades where I like it for both sides. Vancouver, back to Vancouver, nothing off of the roster. Nothing is being taken away from a team that has been extremely successful this year. And that's what you always worry about when good teams are making trades like this. When you have a blockbuster trade featuring a top team All you want out of that team is to not mess with the chemistry, not mess with the lineup that has gotten you to this place. The Vancouver Canucks, Patrick Allvin, Jim Rutherford, have done a fantastic job in maintaining the core of the lineup, but adding a piece that can plug the holes that they need right now. Round of applause to Canucks management for that. And this isn't the first time this season that the Canucks have done a deal with the Calgary Flames. We had the Zadorov trade earlier this season, and it looks like we can just start calling them the Vancouver Flames because Darren Dreger tweeted this. Rick Dhaliwal had a tweet that said, working on to see if Chris Tanev is in this deal. And then Darren Dreger quote tweeted, and he said, I believe he was, but it was thought to be better as a separate deal. Heard the same thing, Rick. So we could have 3 trades this year involving the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames. Chris Tanev might become a Vancouver Canuck at some point. And as I said about them plugging all the holes that the Canucks have in the attempts to go for a long playoff run, that's kind of the last hole to be filled. Now that you have Elias Lindholm, go probably get some depth deep. Chris Tanev would be perfect. But what is the cost to get Tanev? Who knows? But that could be coming very soon for the Vancouver Canucks. Chris Johnston tweeted this. Elias Lindholm is still in transition from his bye-week vacation to the NHL's All-Star Weekend in Toronto. So there's no extension worked out with the Canucks for the pending UFA. An underrated part there that Chris Johnston notes. Elias Lindholm is a part of All-Star Weekend. Just like last year with Bo Horvat, where he was traded from the Canucks to the Islanders during All-Star and then was there as a Canuck representing the Islanders, but representing the Canucks because that's the All-Star representative that they sent. We now have Elias Lindholm adding to the 400 Canucks that are already in the All-Star game. We might as well call this All-Star game brought to you by the Vancouver Canucks because there are so many of them there. But Elias Lindholm, as the Calgary Flames representative, will be a Canuck, and the Flames no longer have a representative, but it will be Elias Lindholm. The NHL, you got to sort this out yourselves. I'm confused, but that's besides the point. Elias Lindholm is now a Vancouver Canuck. Canucks fans should be very happy, and there's definitely more to come with this team.